So what should we talk about?
I don't know. Let's talk about a lot of things. I don't feel like I want to get into politics on a first one.
Okay.
I feel like that's a little bit too deep, a little too fast, you know? We already got a lot of hot takes about, like, skillet and swearing. So I feel like this episode is already packed with all the controversy we need. What can we talk about?
Oh, here's something. Do you think that it's biblical to retire?
Yeah. This is another hot take.
You want a cold take? You want some?
Well,
I feel like cold takes are more boring.
I think that it depends. Like, I think that literally when you are very old, I think it's got to be biblical to retire. Because I mean, like,
well, there
to a
comes
certain
point,
degree, you can only do what you're
physically
capable of.
can't. Yeah. But the idea is it biblical when you're 65 to say, I've worked the whole rest of my life, and now I'm going to live off of my pension or savings, and I'm going to live in my house and spend all my time on my hobbies, and just have fun.
I feel like to a certain degree it kind of feeds that idea of like, you work when you're young and you spend time with your family when you're old, which I feel like sometimes can be incredibly destructive, because it fuels the
American,
like the beat work to death in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s,
because then you have enough money to
and then take care of your family and then enjoy life and then go on vacations, and I feel like
then that dream always gets pushed until you're almost dead.
Or best case scenario, it feeds 20 to 30 years of imbalance.
Yeah.
Like best case scenario, you do get to take it easy when like in your 50s and your 60s and your 70s. Like best case scenario, basically like you live an unbalanced life for half your life. And I feel like that can be destructive. I feel like the best thing is balance throughout life, and that, I mean, who's going to hate on balance? I'm sure that everyone can agree with that, and that looks different for different people. But I think that even in retirement, you should do stuff. Like, I think that the two biggest gaps, this is another hot take, now we're getting into even more controversial, but I think the two biggest gaps in Christianity of, like, when people are active in ministry.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if this is true or not, because I know a lot of people in my life, where I live, who are youth in high school, who are helping lead things like youth groups and children's church and Sunday school and all that. They're leading in ministry, or at least helping in ministry. And I feel like that is so needed in high school, not just because they're an amazing resource and they're around other high school kids and they can mentor and they can
evangelize.
Lead, they can evangelize, but also because they need it. Like the high school kid who is a Christian, for them to be that amazing youth pastor, that amazing worship leader, or even if it's something that's way less leadership based, even if it's like they're the person who, not at all mocking people who hand out the offering bags, okay? Gotta be honest, they're amazing. Those people are awesome. But like, maybe you're the person who hands out the offering. Maybe you're the person who does media at your church. Maybe you're the person who does like all kinds of different things for the community. Maybe you care for people who are in prison. Maybe you care for people who are like literally orphans and widows. Maybe you care for people who are outcasts. Like all the different facets of ministry. To prepare yourself for those, you need to lead when you're young. So if you lead in high school, you prepare yourself to be a better Christian when you, well, not just a better Christian, but a better member of the church body, more effective Christian when you're older. So I think that's incredibly important. And the other thing I think we totally miss, which a lot of people actually do, is after they retire, just like pouring back into the church body and into community. Because I know a lot of people that I see, like around the church, like the people who maintain the literal church building, but also maintain the literal church body. Like the people, the community, the people who facilitate that stuff, who like drive people around when they need it, drive people to the doctor when they can't get there themselves. Like all of that stuff, I see that a lot of seniors are doing that. some that are retired, some that even aren't, are doing that and pouring back into the church. And I think that all of those are needed. So I think that like if what you're thinking is, I worked through my middle-aged years and I don't pour into the church, and then when I retire, I'm going to pour into the church a ton, I think that's also kind of flawed. Like you should be able to manage that balance. And I know that ministry looks different at different times. Like there will be times in your life when you literally give less time,
right,
or maybe less money to ministry, to the church body, but it's still an integral part of your life. Like I don't think it's all about the numbers, but I think balance throughout all of life is important. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that when you look at the Bible, there are definitely, like Abraham, I didn't have Isaac until he was 100 years old, I believe.
Yeah.
Moses didn't start leading the people out of Egypt until he was at least 80.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are lots of examples of incredibly old people still doing really amazing, important things. And I think I don't have a lot of references from the New Testament, but I think in the New Testament the way Paul talks doesn't support the idea of, at any point in life, of kicking back and relaxing.
Yeah.
And not doing anything for the church.
I mean, when John was he an apostle? No, I'm confusing myself. Apostle John.
Yeah.
When he wrote the book of Revelation, I don't know the exact number, but he was definitely older than 65. Like he was late in his life. I think he wrote the book of Revelation when he was stuck on that island. What, Patmos?
Yeah. I'm pretty certain he was. I don't know how the book got off the island, but
I don't know about that. But
yeah,
that's
at the beginning of Revelation. He says that when he was on the island of Patmos, God revealed this vision to him, or something along those lines.
Yeah. So like, he wrote a book of the Bible when he was on Patmos, and I think he also wrote the first and second books of John. Are there 3 books of John? There are 3 books of John.
Yeah.
Right? First, second, and third books of John. I think he also wrote those when he was on Patmos. I'm not 100% sure of that, but he definitely wrote all the books of the Bible that he wrote when he was later in his life. So I certainly think that like, you ain't got no excuses. Sorry, peeps, but like, they did incredible stuff in their later years. And I know that there are examples of real life people who have done incredible stuff later in their years. Like, I don't know how old Corrie ten Boom was. I don't think she was actually. She might not have been in her later years. I don't know if she was older than 65. But her and her family, including her father, who was at least 65 when this happened, they hid Jews in their house in the Netherlands, in what is now the Netherlands, and that was incredibly bold. Mm-hmm. During that time. Like Corrie ten Boom was imprisoned for years because of what she did. Like they helped, I think, hundreds, at least dozens of Jews escape the Holocaust, and then she was imprisoned for it. And when she was imprisoned, she was definitely at least middle-aged. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not 100% sure on the ages here, but she was older, and her father, who helped them hide the Jews, was definitely in his retirement years. It's like people have done incredible, bold, like amazing feats for God in the past 100 years, definitely. Like this year, I'm sure there are people who are over the age of 65 who are doing incredibly bold things.
Yeah, we know some. Well,
we do know some.
Maybe not with so much emphasis on the bold, but still on the important.
Yeah, the important and amazing things they do for God. And I think as far as like retiring from a job, I mean that depends on the job to a certain degree. Like there are.
Yeah, I guess I'm not talking about literally the act of retiring from a particular job or retiring from working in a career, but just the idea of I'm going to live off what I have and stop working.
Yeah. And I think that, like, it's definitely supportable, and dare I say, correct. Like, it's right. It's not immoral to make a career change.
Yeah.
Like, if you're, like, I work in manual labor. Say that. And that's not sustainable forever. Like, I already know at this point. Like, I don't think I'm gonna work in the job that I'm in for 10 years. Like, I'm just not. I love it, but it's just not something you can do forever. It's not always supportable. So I think that, like, at different times in life, there are career changes. Maybe you go to something that's a lot less physically demanding job. Totally normal. Like, that's just the reality of life. But I think that, particularly when it comes to the church side of it, like the morality side of the biblical side of retiring, is like, the Bible talks about giving to the church. If you no longer have an income, or if your income is significantly less, then maybe you're giving less to the church, maybe you're not, when it comes to the financial side of things. But I think that if you have the opportunity to give more, like, give as much as you can. Mm-hmm. Whether that's time or finances or whatever angle it is of your life. If the best thing for you is to retire from your job, then good for you. Retire from the job. But in that new aspect of life, just like every other time in your life, just look at it and say, I've got extra time now. Like, I'm going to start doing this hobby because I love it. And I'm going to start doing this in my church body and this in my church body and do this to support younger Christians. Like, I think one of the biggest things after you retire is to mentor younger people. Because we don't know what we're doing. Like, we've got no clue. Like, I've never done life. I've never had things. Like, so much of us don't know how to do.
Yeah. I've been 22 exactly 0 times.
So I think that there's amazing potential for mentorship. And like everything else that I've said, that looks like a ton of different things in a ton of different scenarios. Like, sometimes mentoring looks like literal things of, like, how do I cook a meal? How do I do a laundry? Like, sometimes
some of those things you can YouTube.
Thank you, YouTube, for filling in where other people don't. But yeah, some of those things are like literal, like, I don't know how to do this. How do I put on a door? Like, can you show me how to do this? But even more so, like, the relationship side of it. Mm-hmm. Like, I've only been 19 once. This is my first try. This is my only try. Mm-hmm. Let's be clear about that. But hopefully I can learn from people who have already, like, lived this stage of life. Hopefully I don't make all the mistakes that past generations have made, and I can learn from them. When that comes to, like, having a family and having friends and starting a career and just living life, like the important relational aspects of life, and learning how to do those in a way that's wise and in a way that's biblical. So, yay, old people. Teach us how to do good. This would be where an actual podcast would put in a commercial. We're not an actual podcast. We don't have anyone who's sponsoring us or any commercials or anything. So we might just make up fake ones. I mean, maybe not like any real companies, so we don't get sued. But
no, you can You can say good things about companies that you're not affiliated with. You can even
Really?
say bad things. Yeah, we could say that we hate Coke if we want to, and it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Sweet! But I don't hate Coke. I mean, Coke, you suck. But you taste good. Darn you!
I think the world would be a much better place if Coke did not exist.
There you go. But it tastes good.
Yeah.
My mouth. It needs the Coke, but I say no. No Coke, no. Don't pay them money. Don't pay them money. They are not. Well, now we're gonna make statements about Coke, and that's gonna be controversial, confrontational, all of the cons.
Yeah, we can say whatever we want about whatever company we want.
Yay!
It's part of free speech.
Woo! Now we mentioned free speech. Now that this whole thing is just gonna devolve into like us saying, judging things. I mean, we'll just
about other companies.
We'll just stay away. We'll just stay away from all the hot topics, except for the ones we've already mentioned.
So, I'm confused what you mean by a hot topic.
I just mean like,
controversial?
free speech in ways is controversial,
okay.
right? Like not actually free speech, but what it means, like what it allows you to do, what it doesn't allow you to do.
Right.
And the confusing thing up here is it's like people are like, I have a constitutional right to free speech, and they're like, that's the states, dude. You don't live in the United States of America. You live in Canada. I don't know if you even have that. I don't. I mean, I'm pretty sure in our Charter of Rights and Freedoms we have.
I think we have something called a constitution still.
Oh, we do, but the Constitution is a lot more about
how the country works.
Yeah, how the country works in relation to different provinces and territories. Basically, it's a thing that like all the provinces can use against the one province if they do something that's like really pulling out of the pack kind of thing. But yeah, we do have a constitution. We do. And yet again, it's foggy. I mean, oh, now it smells like.
No.
Dang it! Stupid British Columbia! Why do you have to suck? God, you should probably give context. It smells like. You're just going with a new word for it. It's not already a word for something.
What?
Well, otherwise we have to call it what it actually is.
Pot?
we don't have to say that. I mean, we could call it like what it's supposed to be like legally called.
Yeah, cannabis.
Or marijuana.
Marijuana is a more technical name than pot, but the Wikipedia page calls it cannabis.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can smell it.
That's the scientific term.
Pretty much anywhere, like any city in BC.
And it's still not legal.
No, it's not.
Not quite yet.
Not quite yet. And when it is legal, it's not legal for everyone. Okay, it is legal for most people. It's not legal for kids.
Right.
It's not legal to carry a ton of it.
Right. And it's
you only
not
get to carry I don't know. I'm not sure how much it is. Is it an ounce?
It's not legal to smoke in wherever you want. I think you can only smoke.
Basically, where you can smoke a cig.
Yeah.
A cigarette.
And so I assume that you can't smoke in a closed area with children. I would assume that's a thing. And I know you can't smoke and drive.
And you cannot smoke. Wait, you can't smoke and drive?
You can't drive while you're high.
True. Sorry,
I assume that you can't smoke and drive.
But you can smoke a tobacco cigarette and drive.
Yes, as long as there are not children in the car. Yeah.
But yeah. Things and laws. And things. Yeah. So that's interesting. Very sad. Yeah.
I don't think that it's it's not something that I'm a big fan of, cannabis becoming legal, but it's also not something that I care about nearly as much as some of the other decisions that our government has made.
Yeah.
So.
Well, dang it, you got into politics.
I didn't mention anything in particular.
Okay, fine. we just got into a political
saying,
topic, cannabis.
In my mind, it's not a big moral issue compared to a lot of other things.
I mean,
so if I was going to like run for prime minister and have a platform, that wouldn't even be something I would mention probably. Because there would be 10 other points above that.
Yeah. Should we talk about this? It's going to give away where we are.
They know we're going to Victoria.
True, yeah. So we're passing the largest... Is this the largest one-piece hockey stick? It can't be one piece.
I thought I heard at one point... I heard it... I've definitely heard that it's one piece. I don't know how they found a tree that big.
No, I know what it is. They laminated it into one piece.
Well, then
so it isn't actually one piece of wood,
right?
But the whole stick is one piece.
Well,
I'm pretty sure the larger ones are like physically not connected.
Feels like it's bending the rules of One Piece.
Yeah, sure it is. I mean, what I want to see is like the guy who turns a 200-foot cedar tree into one stick.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. We're gonna find a tree that's like. Boom.
Yeah, you gotta find the right shaped tree.
The stick part at the bottom. You could do it though.
Or have it be one of the branches. Yeah.
There you go. You can do it.
So we were driving by a giant hockey stick because I don't.
Oh, we should explain.
Yeah.
Okay. So like we might as well. Okay, we don't have to give away where we are.
We're bad at doing this.
Okay. Full admission. We're not good at this. We didn't do it because we're good. We did it because. We were bored, probably because we were bored, because we're going to talk anyway. But yeah, we just passed like the largest, pretty sure the title is the largest one-piece hockey stick in the world, I believe. I'm sorry if I'm stealing that title from someone else. What it is a darn big hockey stick. That's what we just passed. An impressively large hockey stick that says Canada on it. So, yay us. Yeah.
We probably suck at podcasting, but at least we'll produce like 2 hours of content in our first go.
There you go. This is not gonna be one of those people who's like, every 3 months.
Pull a CGP Grey.
Pull a CGP.
Upload a 10-minute video every month and a half.
We like CGP Grey though. He's great.
Yeah, his videos are excellent.
But like a
10-minute
video every month and a half. Like hopefully we'll be able to pull like every month and a half. Just 3 hours straight.
Yeah.
Just like a darn long podcast.
Or we could split it up if we wanted to and release like half an hour a week.
That's what I'm thinking. I think
2 hours a month.
I think we might do like half an hour a week. And I mean, it's going to be pretty obvious if the conversation's continued.
Yeah.
That it's like a 2.5 hour conversation that's cut up into 5 pieces. But that's fine. Just means we're teasing you. Teasing you with the bits. It's like fun-sized chocolate bars. It's like someone in the store bought a full-size chocolate bar and then cut it up and they gave it to kids for Halloween. And it's like, fun size. And they're like, I can see that it used to be a whole chocolate bar. Or they cut it up on a plate and it's a whole chocolate bar cut into 5 pieces and they say, pick one. And then you're like, but I wanted the whole bar. You have a whole bar? Can I have a whole bar? Like, please? Okay, we gotta pull over and get some gas. Oh, dang it.
What?
I have to go into a 7-Eleven.
Oh.
I mean, I did make the choice to pull in. Oh, there's a co-op over there. My co-op membership won't count. Dang it, I just gave away that I have a co-op membership.
Oh no, someone's gonna look up your first name.
Someone's gonna go into a co-op and be like, I want to give him money. Like, that's nothing they can do. Things. Okay, at this point, I think I'm going to pause the recording. So, we should probably end the episode.
Okay.
With a musical number. Ba-da-ba, ba-ba. Dang it, an ad came up right when it was we managed to get a re into the podcast. That's exciting. Come on, let me do the... Okay, now my phone's not working. Quick, say something funny.
So I should recite the digits of pi.
Go! Start reciting the digits of pi.
3.141592533589793 2384626. Is it working yet?
No!
62643383. That's all I know.